Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a segment of creating awareness of what domestic abuse may look like. I am Melinda, and I am an abuse survivor. So, this week, we are going to start off with a scripture from Second Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, KJV. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. So I chose this scripture to go with this week's segment because sometimes we date people or have people in our lives that want to be like our God. They want to be the God of our life. And there's only one God over our life for those of us who are believers. So this week's topic is going to be about emotional hostage. So, what is emotional hostage? Emotional hostage is when you feel trapped or mentally held as a prisoner to your partner's emotions through manipulation tactics, or what I like to call FIG: fear, isolation, and guilt. They keep you feeling guilty to keep you from leaving them. So, what are some signs your partner is holding you emotionally hostage? Emotional blackmail, or they guilt trip on you. And if you've seen some of my earlier videos, I think I gave an explanation of what emotional blackmail looks like. And I know I definitely did a video on guilt tripping. So make sure you go and check those out. They might say, I'm such a good man, or I'm such a good woman. I do all these things for you, like buy you flowers, put gas in your car, or I cook for you, I buy you nice gifts, but they won't acknowledge you or what you have done for them. They try to control or manipulate their desired outcome. They might tell everyone how disrespectful you are, how you use profanity, like dropping the F bomb, but they leave out the part that they were antagonizing you or gaslighting you to trigger a negative response from you. That way, you look like the bad guy or bad gal, and they don't. And then they pretend or presume to be the innocent one and play the victim. They use fear and intimidation techniques to keep you feeling anxious and afraid of what they might do next. And I'm pretty sure anyone who has been in a toxic relationship has definitely experienced this before. It's like, okay, I don't want to set this person off, or I don't know what they're capable of because they keep blowing up on me and doing all of these different things I'm not used to. So, if I respond or react, what will they do next? And I used to date someone who would constantly yell at me and try to bully me into submission. And that's another form of being emotionally hostage in a relationship when someone feels like they have to intimidate you into that position. Like, you better not leave me. I'm the best thing you ever had. You better not leave me. You know I'm a good person. If you leave me, you'll never find no one as good as me. Yes, you will. Okay, I'm here to tell you. Yes, you will. Okay. um, so they do this because they don't want you to leave them. You know, they try to intimidate you and create fear that if you lost them, they'll never come back or you'll never find anyone like them. And again, these things are just all not true. They might even go as far, and I've been told this before by numerous persons, as far as dating wise, men. Um, no one will ever love you like I do. I hope not, because I'm not. I'm pretty sure I do not want to experience this version of toxic love again. Okay. They might even isolate you from your friends and family. Um, they want you to only confide in them. They want you to only confide in them with everything. Like, you're not supposed to tell your mom or dad what we're going through because this is our life. We don't need help when y'all really do need help. This person shouldn't be banishing you or making you feel inadequate for reaching out to people, whether it be financial means or just emotional means that you need met, that this person isn't able to provide for you. And I recall telling someone recently that you know you you can't be their everything, and they definitely cannot be your everything. Like, I went through this during my first marriage. It was a relief when our therapist slash minister share with us, you can't be her everything and she can't be your everything. It was like a weight was lifted off my chest, because here I was trying to be your best friend, your confidant, your explicit buddy, whatever. I was trying to be all these things for that person, and I was taking on more than I could bear. Outside of that, I was expecting more from them, because if I'm doing all of this for you, accommodate me and show me the same respect. And that's just way too much to put on a person that's just human, that's just living their life, whether they're unhealthy or healthy. The expectations were not agreeable between us. Thing that when a person is holding you emotionally hostage is that they'll call you and try to keep you on the phone for hours and hours. And I'm not talking about that beginning phase, like, I don't want to hang up, you don't want to hang up, I'll miss you, so on and so forth. I'm talking about deep into the relationship, and now it feels like they're surveillancing you, like they're calling you and they want to stay on the phone all hours of the night or day. You're not talking about anything, you're just on the phone. Like, they're just making sure that, what are you doing? Okay, what are you doing now? And then, well, talk to me. Well, what am I supposed to say? Like, we've been on the phone for 10 hours. I'm pretty much out of communication at this point if you're the only person I'm talking to. Again, that's a technique where they are surveillancing you. And I'm sure some of you have experienced that, because I definitely have. Another thing they might do when they're holding you emotionally hostage is, let's say you make obligations with your family members. Let's say I'm going to attend so and so's party, and then your mate that's holding you emotionally hostage, what they're going to do is they're going to create something else for you to do, because they don't want to attend it, they don't want to be a part of it. So it'll be like, okay, well, yeah, I need to find an outfit. Let's go shopping. So you're like, okay, sure, we got time. Let's go shopping. You go shopping, and all of a sudden, I'm hungry. Aren't you hungry? Well, yeah, I guess I can eat. Sure, I'm hungry. Well, let's go to this restaurant where it's going to take hours for them to prepare our food, and we're going to start with an appetizer and then order an entree and maybe even dessert. And then at that point, it's like, well, okay, now it's too late to attend this event. This person is holding me emotionally hostage because they never wanted to attend in the first place, and they wanted to keep me consumed with their presence. And that's another thing you want to look out for. And this isn't in every case. Sometimes things just happen, but when you're dealing with a manipulative person that uses these techniques, you definitely want to be more aware, because you're going to see more red flags than just one. It won't be just this one thing that they did, and oh no, I can't believe they did that. That could be honest, and it just happened. But when they're constantly doing these things to keep you away from your friends or your family, then you want to pay heed, take notice, and say, okay, something's not right here. Why aren't you allowing me to be outside of your presence or around other people? Why are you acting like you're my God? Okay. So, They also like to shift the blame and responsibility. They're going to project. So they're going to project onto you, making you feel some form of self-doubt or guilt so that you stay indebted to them. They're going to project things. That's not what I didn't try to hold you hostage from going to be with your family by taking you out to eat. I was hungry and I thought you were hungry. That's gaslighting, just so you know. But I thought you were hungry and I was hungry, so we went out to eat and we just lost frame of time. No, you didn't. You planned for us to do this because you knew I had other obligations that you wanted to keep me from. So again, those are things that you want to pay attention to. Um, they also create in you an atmosphere where you lack boundaries with this person. So what they'll do is once they see that you lack boundaries, like you don't stand firm on your no and you keep accepting their toxic or unhealthy behaviors, they're going to keep overstepping them. They're going to keep seeing how far can I go with you, since you're lacking boundaries. And I can definitely put myself in those shoes where I was in a situation where I loved this person so much that I lacked boundaries and I kept accepting things that I never should have accepted from this person or anyone. But sometimes love and emotions in the heart is a dynamic that, once you begin to heal from toxic traits, you learn that I'll never accept these traits from another person again. So, they'll do that. They'll overstep on your boundaries. Like, well, you said no, but do you really mean no? Let me see how far I can go. And stop giving that person that opportunity to see how far they can go. Because God forbid they go so far you end up in the grave. I'm just saying, it's real stuff. Look at all the videos about, people being unalived, on social media and so on and so forth, overstepping boundaries, not having a firm no and leaving that person alone if they were unhealthy and toxic for them. So, what does this look like? We are constantly trying to appease them. This is what emotional hostage looks like for the victim. You're constantly trying to appease the person that's holding you emotionally hostage. Um, they're always trying to be like the centerpiece of your life. Like their life evolves around you. Like their, if you went to a concert and you were the only person there and they would be on the stage. So that's what this person does. Is like they want everything to be about them no matter what's going on in your life, whether you have children or don't have children or friends or whatever. It's like, no, don't pay them any attention. Look at me, pay me more attention. So, also, you'll find yourself when you're being the recipient of being emotionally an emotional hostage. You'll find that you are always sacrificing your own well-being to pacify and accommodate this person. So if you feel like you're in a situation where it's like everything is centered around this person, no matter what goes on in your life, you got to pay attention to them. You got to put them first. That's something you definitely want to maybe reach out to that person and say, hey, I kind of don't like the dynamics of our relationship. I think, I feel like I'm giving you more attention than I'm getting or that I'm even giving myself. And I feel like we need some space or therapy or whatever the case may be. So, what are some of the consequences or some of the side effects of being an emotional hostage to a person in a relationship? And it could be, um, uh, uh, with your mate or a family member or coworker, whatever. So some of the side effects are loss of identity. You start to lose who you are because you're always trying to appease this person and be the form of perfection that they want you to be for them, that you'll never be for them because they'll always keep wanting more and more out of you. And I'm sure some of you can identify because I've been there in a relationship before, and I'm sure some of you can identify with that. Um, you also find yourself living up to overwhelming expectations with this person. Like, I mean, dang, I shot to the moon. I didn't know that I could go further than that. They're going to constantly keep wanting you to jump through larger and larger hoops. So, that's another way that you know that a person is holding you emotionally hostage. And honestly, you're adhering to it because you're living up to that expectation that you aren't capable of being all the time. Okay? And this isn't to make you feel bad because I've been there. I've done it and I've done my work and we're not that person anymore. But what it does is it starts to leave you feeling drained and you start feeling worthless, like nothing you ever do will ever be good enough or right. So if you're starting to feel that way, if you already been feeling that way in your relationship, these again are things that you want to adhere to. You want to pay attention to, like, okay, is it me or is it my environment? It also could lead to emotional distress, which leads to anxiety, low self worth, and depression. And I would like to say they all three go hand in hand. Sometimes it might start off with anxiety. Now it's not a good anxiety like, ooh, I can't wait to see you. It's like, oh my God, they coming around again. How am I gonna deal with them? It's gonna be that terror type of anxiety that makes you afraid to be around them. And then that's going to start bringing out your feelings of low self worth because this person has already done so much because they want to be the God in your life to break you down to um, make you treat them like a God in your life. And so that's going to start making you feel like something's wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong with you, it's something wrong with them and the person you're dealing with. And then that's going to lead to depression because it's going to be like, I've done all I can. I've gone out of my way. Nothing I do is ever good enough. And now I'm in this, sunken low place. And when you get there, definitely it's time to start healing. It's time to start healing. All of these phases, it's time to start healing. But once you get down there, you definitely want to start working on your healing journey, going to therapy, which is one of the things I was going to say, um, is that you want to seek therapy. You want to prioritize your self care, not y'all self care, not their self care, your self care. Today is all about me. It's my self care. I put myself first, my needs first, my emotional needs first. Um, and then you also want to find a good support group. Maybe someone, maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to family or friends or meeting with a therapist, but then find a support group of people who are like minded that have gone through the things you've gone through that can help encourage you to change around your frame of thinking and how you handle things and the people you deal with. Um, because when you stay in these type of relationships, it puts a strain on your relationship, and eventually what it's going to do is going to create this toxic codependency. It's going to create these feelings of resentment for that person, and it's also going to create isolation. Now you're going to not even want to be around anybody anymore because the trust has gone. Here is someone you put all your trust in that wanted to be your God, and then it didn't work out well, and now you need time to heal from that because now you feel like, okay, I can't be around anybody because they might be like them and I trusted them, and that's not always the case, and that's not always true. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like me on all of my social medias. um, I'm on Facebook, TikTok, I'm on YouTube. If no one told you they love you today, I love you, and have a blessed day.